Welcome to World Scene from the Independent Television Network. Taking a look at the headlines. The political crisis in Pakistan deepens. Mr. Rafsanjani re-elected as the president of Iran with a reduced margin. Prince Ranadit offers to share power with Hun Sen's Cambodian People's Party in an interim administration. In Somalia, United Nations troops again attacked General Aidid's headquarters. And the news in detail. Political crisis in Pakistan has deepened with the Punjab Assembly Speaker, Mr. Shahid Ahmad Minhas, dissolving the House through a fresh notification. The Speaker ruled that the House should dissolve automatically 48 hours after the Chief Minister tendered advice to the Governor to dissolve it. The Speaker's ruling and subsequent notification came following the demand by 87 Assembly members for summoning its session. Reacting to the Speaker's ruling, the Prime Minister, Mr. Nawaz Sharif, said, "It is a strange development and a session which was requested by a large number of the Assembly members and cannot be held now." Meanwhile, the Pakistan Prime Minister, Mr. Nawaz Sharif, has said that his government wants to make a fresh start to normalize relations with India and bring to an end the tension between the two neighbors. He said his country will endeavor to improve relations with New Delhi. Mr. Sharif was talking to foreign journalists in Islamabad for the first time since the reinstatement of his government by the Supreme Court. When asked if his government in contemplating impeachment of the president, Mr. Ghulam Ishaq Khan, Mr. Sharif said his first priority is to modify the 8th Amendment under which the president dissolved the National Assembly. Mr. Ali Akbar Hashmi Rafsanjani has been re-elected the president of Iran, winning 63% of the votes. His nearest rival, former Labour Minister, Mr. Ahmad Tavkoli, secured about 24% of the votes cast. The results were announced by the Interior Ministry in Tehran. Mr. Rafsanjani had won his first term with over 90% of the total votes cast against the single challenger. Under the Constitution, Mr. Rafsanjani's new tenure will be his last term in office. He will take oath on the 3rd of August for his new term. In Cambodia, the head of the United Nations mission, Mr. Yashushi Akashi, has withdrawn the agency's civilian staff from 3 provinces in the southeastern parts of the country. The move follows a request by the Cambodian head of state, Prince Sihanouk. The prince told Mr. Akashi that the safety of the UN troops in the area could not be guaranteed. Meanwhile, Prince Ranadit has offered to share power with Hun Sen's Cambodian People's Party in an interim administration. He asked Mr. Hun Sen to first accept the election results and denounce the hardliners in the Cambodian People's Party who have announced an autonomous region bordering Vietnam. Prince Ranadit had last week rejected the coalition government's announcement by Prince Sihanouk, with Mr. Ranadit and Mr. Hun Sen becoming deputy prime ministers. American military aircrafts have again attacked targets in the Somali capital Mogadishu, the second time in 2 days. One target was the faction leader General Mohammed Aidid's headquarters. Witnesses said a series of explosions were heard from the area controlled by forces loyal to General Aidid during the attack, which lasted for about an hour.
This was the second nighttime UN attack in Mogadishu. The bombing began less than 24 hours after the first nighttime attack. The target is the same, headquarters of Somali warlord General Mohammed Farah Aidid. Saturday night, the transmission tower of Aidid's radio station was destroyed. The United Nations is resolute on completely disarming Aidid's militia and destroying his munitions supply. In ground operations following the first air attack, UN troops succeeded in entering 5 munitions depots. 200 militiamen were captured, but Aidid himself escaped. During a demonstration, Pakistani soldiers opened fire on Somalis, killing 1 man and wounding a pregnant woman. 6 Somalis have been killed by Pakistani troops in the past 24 hours. Saturday night's attack undoubtedly claimed additional lives.
Meanwhile, the U.S. President, Mr. Bill Clinton, has justified Friday's military action against General Aidid. In his weekly message from the White House yesterday, Mr. Clinton said the action was intended to take the vast majority of Somalis who wish to live in peace. In Bosnia, 8 persons were reported to be killed and several injured in a mortar attack on a funeral procession in the capital, Sarajevo. Agencies quoting local people said that the mortar was fired from the direction of the Bosnian Serb positions in a hill overlooking the capital. However, there has been no official statement so far. In another incident, a Muslim aid convoy meant for Tuzla town was intercepted by Croat forces near Novotravnik town and looted. The convoy drivers, however, later returned to their vehicles under the protection of United Nations forces to take stock. A report on that.
Negotiators David Owen and Thorvald Stoltenberg were talking with Croatian President Franjo Tudjman and Bosnian Croat leader Mate Boban Saturday. Violent clashes on the ground between Bosnian Muslim forces and Croats resulted in the latter losing the vital crossroads between Novi Travnik, Vitez and Travnik. However, the massive aid convoy headed for Tuzla and protected by British UN troops reached Zenica and was able to continue on towards its destination. Meanwhile, there were further clashes between British UN troops and Croat militiamen at the UN base in Vitez Friday night after British soldiers had fired back at Croats during the day, killing 2 of them. The shooting of a Spanish officer Thursday night brought the total of UN soldiers killed to 46, and General Morion, UN commander in Bosnia, has threatened to pull his men out of the country if the current explosion of violence does not stop. The Serb offensive against Muslim Bosnians also continued Saturday, with 57 people being killed at Gorađe, whilst a mortar shell falling on a funeral ceremony in Sarajevo killed 8 mourners.
Moving over to Berlin and the AIDS conference, U.S. Surgeon General Dr. Antonio Novello issued a report on the dangers of AIDS. Released at the AIDS conference in Berlin, it is the first Surgeon General's report on the deadly disease in 7 years. Dr. Novello's report cautioned mothers that AIDS can be transmitted by breastfeeding their babies. Meanwhile, at the Berlin conference, French professor Luc Montagnier, who discovered the HIV virus, presented preliminary results of a study showing that antibiotics has important effect on isolating the virus. Here's a report.
AIDS, HIV virus needs to be done.
And moving closer home now, India has achieved another milestone in missile technology yesterday when it once again successfully launched the surface-to-surface Prithvi missile. Weapons-related trials were carried out during the test flight. According to the Indian Defence Ministry, the launch was from the production batch and used the mobile launcher and the mobile control center. Moving over to local sport now, rugby. In the inter-school rugby match played at Longton Place between Thurston College and DSN and Aika Vidyalaya, Thurston players were able to win the game. Scores 12-5. Marine experts in Australia have been taken by surprise by the rare sight of millions of fish surrounded by hundreds of hungry tiger sharks, and a amateur cameraman happened to film this. A report.
These amazing pictures were shot by amateur cameraman Harry Moody last week. While the sharks kept the huge mass of fish in check, at least 5 tropical whales moved in. One of the whales was accompanied by a calf. The graceful giants rolled onto their sides, scooping up tons of fish. The rare vision has sent marine experts into a spin. Never before have they seen so many sharks and whales feeding so close. A Carnarvon tourist operator spotted the feeding frenzy earlier this week. Harry Moody and his wife returned to the spot 24 hours later and found them still at it. Mr. Lee says the natural phenomena is something marine experts would be lucky to experience, but he hopes to be one of them. He's planning to take a team of divers into the area to get a closer look at the ocean's food web in action.
What a rare sight. Well, that's where we end the international news. Taking a look at the weather forecast and reports now. Rainfall figures for 24 hours ending at 8:30 a.m. on 13 June 1993. Colombo 0.4 millimeters, Katugastota 0.8, Ratnapura 1.3 millimeters, Gampaha 3.4. In the hydro catchment areas, Canyon 1.2 millimeters, Castlereagh 0.7, Kotmale 1 millimeter, Laksapana 2.2, Morsakale 1 millimeter, Norton 2.5 millimeters. The highest rainfall of 3.4 millimeters was recorded at Gampaha. And the maximum temperature of 36 degrees centigrade was recorded at Trincomalee. And the minimum temperature of 13.8 degrees centigrade was recorded at Nuwara. The weather forecast for tomorrow, the 14th of June. There will be scattered showers in the central, Sabaragamuwa and western provinces and in the Galle district. One or two places in the